Hello students, today we will be discussing party system in India, nature and trends. The objective behind today's discussion is to give you an understanding of the nature of party system, the qualitative transformation in the party system, the nature of party competition, as well as the second dominant party system that we are witnessing today. The ensuing discussion which focus on the following areas: changing nature of party competition, issue-based party functioning, dilution of ideologies, personality cult politics, weak party discipline, lack of internal democracy, coalitional party systems, the politics of populism, politics of opportunistic alliances, as well as the second dominant party system. Indian party system is one of the most vibrant party system in the entire world. It has sustained several challenges over the last 7 decades for now. During the last 3 decades, party system has undergone major changes both quantitatively as well as qualitatively. Parties have been coming into existence, going out of existence. Even those parties which have had strong roots in the past have become very weak and unstable in present times. Therefore, it is very interesting to understand what are those changes that have shaped the party system in India. The transformation of the party system is often seen from several transitional points. From the emergence of one party dominant system or the Congress system, to its breakdown, to incoherent multi-party system, popularity of regional parties, two-party coalitions namely UPA and NDA, coming back to the dominance of a single party, often termed as the second dominant party system. Now, this entire transformation of the parties have gone through 6 major phases. Political parties emerged in the pre-independence period. They played a very important role during the freedom struggle, that was from 1920 to 1947. Then came in independence, and with independence we start the one party dominant system, or as Rajni Kothari calls it, the Congress system. That period lasted from 1952 to 1967. The third phase was one of Congress dominance and dissent, which lasted from 1971 to 77. This period also witnessed the rise of the Janata coalition. The fourth phase witnessed the emergence of regional parties in different corners of the country. The next phase witnessed multi-party fragmented system. And finally, we come back to the second dominant party system, which we are witnessing from 2014 onwards. Now, what are the factors that have shaped this changing nature of party system? How have parties changed quantitatively as well as qualitatively? Party competition has witnessed a qualitative shift from the days of one party dominance to multi-party system. According to Prakash Sarangi, the traditional notion of party competition based on one dominant party system and this dimensional distinction in the left, right or liberal conservative continuum is of limited relevance today. Other dimensions which have become politically very relevant include secular and communal interests within the political parties, casteless or casteist relevance, rural-urban, integrationist ethnic, national, regional, local, and democratic as well as authoritarian shaping of party competition. So, different parties revolve around different issues. This transformation can be witnessed from consensual party system to coalitional party system. The holistic style of party functioning has been shaped by segmental politics. Earlier political parties would adopt all-round developmental program for the society, polity and economy. But student, today we have moved out from those days of holistic style of functioning of parties to segmental functioning, where one political party focuses on emphasizing on the interest of a particular vote bank or a particular segment of the population. Now, the second important thing that can be deduced in the nature of party functioning in the recent decades is issue-based party functioning. Political parties revolve around particular issues which they popularize it among the voters. In the earlier era, political parties adopted, as I already said, a holistic approach for all-round development of society, irrespective of caste, religion, community or class. But today, the trend is towards segmental politics, wherein each political party tries to lure a particular segment of the society, and this particular segment serves as the vote bank of the political parties. Each political party tries to be identified with certain specific cleavage groups. Political parties, for example, like the Bahujan Samaj Party, the Samajwadi Party, emerged with the proclaimed objective of defending the interest of a particular caste. Now, this is not all. Political parties have also witnessed dilution of ideologies. The last few decades have witnessed dilution of political ideologies with ideologically rival parties entering into a grand coalition of political power. There is no distinction between the left and the centrist political party. Both of them join hands in the task of claiming political power. For example, the Indian National Congress was regarded as a centrist party with some socialist leanings. A Swatantra Party or the Bharatiya Jansangh had distinct rightist leanings. The Communist and the Socialist parties maintained their distance from the rest of the ideological spectrum. It was believed that the ideological distance maximized the likely electoral payoff. So, one's position on the ideological spectrum, left, right and center, actually paid off in the electoral arena. Except in the initial years after independence, ideology did not become a very important part in Indian politics. In fact, ideology did not become a bar to forge alliances among political parties, and we find that the Communist Party and the Muslim League fought elections in Kerala together. Another important thing to note is that both the Congress and the CPI could forge alliances, and together they could come to an electoral understanding. It is interesting to note that coming together of socialist former congressman Jansangh to form the Janata Party in 1977 showed that ideology is not an hindrance in party chemistry so far as Indian politics is concerned. Parties are always ready to make compromises due to electoral compulsions. In fact, parties have become more pragmatic than ideological. In fact, political parties emphasize more on pragmatic parties, and parties have become office-seeking parties, and in order to seek and claim political power in a particular office, they do not take recourse to ideology or any kind of ideological inclination. The next important trend that we can notice today, students, is personality cult politics. In this age of cutthroat political competition, voters are easily lured by the charisma of a leader. This is evident in an illiterate society where the masses are drawn by electoral gimmicks, popular speeches and the aura of leaders. The country has witnessed the popularity of leaders like Jayalalitha, Jyoti Basu, Indira Gandhi, J.P. Narayan, Bal Thackeray. And if we look into the last few decades, we find Nitish Kumar, Mamata Banerjee, Narendra Modi, Mayawati, Biju Patnaik playing a very important role in Indian politics, and their charisma draws millions of voters into the electoral campaigning almost every year. In fact, Narendra Modi has become a cult figure with his diverse images. He is a chaiwala to the poor. He is a developmentalist par excellence to the corporate class as well as to the middle class. Personality plays a very, very important role in today's politics, and parties cannot ignore the role charisma plays in luring voters. Now, we should not forget that even during the days of freedom struggle, there were very important popular leaders. Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, to name a few. But please note, students, Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru or Vallabhbhai Patel never used their charisma to win popular mandate. Today's leaders use their personality cult to strike an emotional chord with the masses, and the masses align themselves with the personal charisma of the leaders. The next important trend which can be noticed today is weak party discipline. Indian parties lack party discipline. The party members do not hesitate to become rebels if they are denied a ticket. They do not hesitate to join another political party for their personal political gains. There are cases of party rebels contesting elections against the officially sponsored political party. Many times rebels are suspended from the party and they do not hesitate to go and join another political party. However, another interesting trend that we can also notice, rebels who have been suspended from the party went and joined another party but came back and again joined the parent party when they do not find the alternative options viable or suitable for them. Now, the political parties also welcome these rebels and dissidents back to their political party. So, lack of party discipline has been a source of defections, factionalism, political turncoatism in Indian politics. Another important trend that we find is lack of internal democracy within the political parties. The lack of democratic functioning can be manifested in two important ways. The procedure for determining the leadership and composition of the parties are not completely open and inclusive. Parties are not open and inclusive organizations. This adversely affects the constitutional right of all citizens to equal political opportunity to participate in choosing their political leaders within political parties. Moreover, almost all political parties have a centralized structure of functioning. And even the strict anti-defection laws have not been able to weed out this lack of internal democracy within the party system. It has been observed that leadership is mostly decided by a small group of party functioning, and this entire group, this small group, holds sway over party functioning at the central, regional and local level. Even when elections take place in which the members of the national organizational or decision-making body of the party participate, the predetermined choice of the party elite is taken into consideration. So, general party supporters hardly have any choice in deciding their leaders. It is very, very difficult to remove party leaders. There is little discussion or consultation with ordinary party members when setting the party agenda. Young politicians find it very, very difficult to climb up the ranks. An influence of family considerations remain powerful in Indian politics even today. Most of the time, the elections to leadership position are uncontested and unanimously decided. Even if elections take place, they are just a pseudo-election. Ceremonial rubber stamp organizational elections are held with long intervals and various irregularities can be seen. Leaders like as much control as possible over their parties. They like to set agendas, they select candidates, they prevent candidates from getting party tickets, they maintain themselves in power and they are not ready to give away their powers to the dynamic young leaders who can play a much more role in party functioning. Most leaders have no incentive to institutionalize democracy within their party. The next important trend that can be noticed is coalitional party system. Since the 1990s, India has witnessed a move towards fragmented multi-party system and the rise of various coalition parties coming to power in the centre and in the various state legislatures. The 1990s saw the rise of the Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party and parties such as the Samajwadi Party, the Rashtriya Janata Dal, the Bahujan Samaj Party, and their main support came in from the backward caste groups. The fragmentation of the party system also led to an era of unstable coalitional governments, where electoral alliances were largely driven by the desire to win power rather than was based on ideology. Regional leaders left the coalition when they were not given the desired ministerial berth. So, coalitional party system led to instability in Indian politics. Further, the national constituency phenomenon of the 1970s and 80s, we saw large victories for a national party was replaced by a party system which had greater influence of the regional parties. There is another system that can be noticed in the coalitional party system. There is a role reversal between the Congress and the BJP. In the last 10-15 years, where we find that the Congress do not have a national presence today and leads the government on only a very few states. But the BJP on the other hand has become the principal national party and also holds power in a number of state legislatures. In the emerging political landscape, the main challenge to the BJP is likely to arise from a coalition of regional parties, and we find a coalition of regional parties coming together to form an anti-BJP coalitional front, and where leadership is offered by eminent regional leaders. It is not only a coalition of national parties, but here we find coalition of only regional parties coming together to fight against the national coalition. There's another very important trend that can be noticed is the politics of populism. In India, populism is a term generally associated with fiscal handouts given to the less privileged. For example, loan waivers, poverty alleviation schemes, etc. Populism hinges about charismatic leaders having direct, unmediated access to the masses. Almost all political parties today follow populist measures to lure the voters before elections. The 1971 elections, let's not forget students, was historic when Indira Gandhi raised the slogan Garibi Hatao, which immediately captured people's attention and imagination. It became a powerful populist measure to lure and tempt the voters. There are other populist measures introduced by the leaders. Employment opportunities, increased reservation, loan waivers, giving of grains and other freebies are used as election slogans, and this culminates in a politics of populism. For example, we can also notice this is not confined to national parties but also can be seen in the case of regional parties. For example, one of the popular parties operating in Delhi promised free power and water for New Delhi residents before the 2013 elections, free bus rides and metro rides for women. Even in 2021 Legislative Assembly elections held in a couple of states, the ruling governments promised various populist measures, from assured monthly income to female heads of households to various other schemes to ensure that the people are lured by these schemes and populist measures. The framework of populism is used by each and every political party to tempt the voters to create a solid vote bank for them. In fact, populist policies can also be seen in electoral campaigns. The clever usage of Harvard versus hard work, anti-elitism, the assiduous cultivation of an ascetic image by leaders, personification of authority are all undeniable traits towards populism. With populism comes opportunistic alliances, which is another trend in the Indian party system. Political parties have often resorted to unprincipled alliances and coalitions for securing political gains. During elections, political parties entered into unprincipled alliances regardless of their ultimate position in the political hierarchy. They do not hesitate to enter into alliances with ideological rivals. During the March-April 2021 Legislative Assembly elections, CPIM and the left parties entered into an alliance with the INC so far as West Bengal elections were concerned. But the same left parties and Congress contested separately in the Kerala Legislative Assembly elections held during the same period. So we find that elections do not determine an alliance, rather alliances are shaped by different elections at different points of time or in different elections occurring at the same point of time. So opportunistic alliances have become the order of the day. In fact, what we find also that some of the alliance partners who have been alliances with the 1998 NDA coalition are now rival oppositions, pitting one against the other before elections. Let's come to the last part of our discussion, the second dominant party system, which is the latest trend in the Indian party system. During the 6 years of Prime Minister Modi's regime, the BJP continues to transform the institutional arrangements, restructure the governance framework, substantially expand its social and geographic base, and alter the political culture of India, which some has described as the making of second dominant party system in India and more popularly India's second republic. Because the BJP under Modi has been very successful in transforming the political base of electoral competition, disrupted caste community based political alignments, expanded its social base of support and set the ideological agenda of the country, the current political system can indeed be called the BJP dominant system or the second dominant party system. Oliver Heath has argued that the rapid political and geographical expansion of the BJP and its emergence as a main political force was due to its ability to delicately redefine itself and its social base and forge alliances with regional parties having different social bases. The BJP's organizational resources, along with a charismatic leadership at the top, far outweighs its competitors. The party, along with its allied Sangh Parivar, has always possessed an enviable cadre, strength on the ground. But its massive advantages is in terms of its financial resources, disproportionate control over the media, communication channels, both traditional media as well as social media, and it has helped set the agenda of the BJP to emerge as the most popular political party. The fragmented and ideologically disarrayed opposition has actually contributed to the rise of the BJP to power. A long-term political realignment was perhaps made inevitable by the gathering ideological strength of the RSS and the BJP and the steady expansion of the middle class, not just in terms of its support base, but also in terms of its size and political attitude, creating the ground for the rise of the new politics of aspirations. Emphasis on majoritarianism. Now, according to Suhas Palsikar, the core change being affected by the Modi regime might be located in the triad of majoritarianism, populism and authoritarianism. This regime hinges on majoritarianism, and that is the link which binds it with many segments of Hindutva thinking as well as Indian politics. But it should be noted that majoritarianism is not confined to just Hindu majoritarianism alone. All other versions have been either localized or temporarily limited in comparison to the almost century-old project of establishing Hindutva majoritarianism as the pervasive logic and public morality of Indian society. Majoritarian has been reflected in various forms in terms of rhetoric, prejudice and the creation of othering. Majoritarianism has become politically more potent and durable because multiple anxieties have been skillfully appropriated in order to create newer audiences and loyalties for this majoritarian project. Now let us conclude today's discussion with the fact that Indian party system has undergone multiple transformation. It is a vibrant multi-party system, definitely with the BJP as the national party, which is very strong in the Hindi belt as well as in the western and northern part of the country. The second thing to notice is that the Congress and other national parties have faced massive decline, both in support. Regional and state parties with concentrated bases in support in specific parts of the country are on the increase. Recent victories achieved by regional parties in many large states significantly highlight that caste and region till date remain important electoral bases. Overall, Indian political and electoral landscape remain highly complex, where parties and leaders adopt different strategies to remain in power. Finally, the growing disproportionality between votes and seats highlights the limitation of the FPTP, which is the first past the poll system, amidst a fragmented party system, since it can potentially undermine the legitimacy of the election results. Let us quickly summarize what we have studied today. Over the last 7 decades, party competition has increased and taken new turns both at the center and in the state level. Secondly, we have found that in the fight for gaining or retaining power, parties have followed adversarial politics, confrontationalist policies and programs to lure the voters. Changing of party alliances in terms of sharing and shaping of power seems to be the dominant trend. A host of factors can be attributed to the current trend that we are witnessing today. Decline in party leadership, lack of internal democracy, growth of populism, increasing corruption within the political parties, vote bank politics, electoral malpractices, and the most important practice, the urge to remain in power come what may, seems to be common for both national and regional politics. That's all for today. Thank you.